And Mikhail is here. Mikhail has also joined us. He wanted to also be participant in it. And let me just put up what we are discussing, and then we'll get into the. We get you in, and then you can. Your wish. You want to tell us things in Portuguese, English, French, all languages are welcome.
Yes, I will begin in English. My presentation will be in Portuguese.
Okay, so 1 minute. What I'll do is let me just put up what we're doing here. And of course, Baiye is also here. Hi, Baiye. Baiye, can hear us or not?
I can hear you.
Good. So I'll just get you in. We'll introduce you. But first, let's just put up what we are doing. What is the conference? Someone is going to tell us about the conference. Giordani will maybe. So that is what it's all about.
Okay.
What is it about?
May I begin?
No. What I have to do is I have to put up the session, what the session is about. That's more important. So give me a second. It takes its time to start sharing. That's surprising.
Okay.
So basically, mediation for sustainable development goal SDG16 of the United Nations. And of course, Giordani and Baiye will tell us about themselves. Is someone going to tell me about the conference? Giordani, are you going to tell us about the conference?
Yeah.
What is this conference?
It's about, first of all, Vikram, I want to say that I'm so glad to meet you first. And I need to thank you for this opportunity to share with so many brilliant mediators and other professionals this great celebration of Ken Cloke's birthday.
Yeah, you should have come. You should have joined us for the celebration also.
Yeah, and besides, it's a great honor to be here with you and so the other people I don't know, but mainly Baiye Frida Ebai, is it?
Yep.
Is it right to say Baiye?
Baiye. I call her Baiye. I don't know what.
Baiye. From Camarões, a country that Brazilian people love, mainly because of the football game. So my deep gratitude for this moment and for this day, when here in Brazil, we celebrate the 8 years of the Brazilian mediation law. So many reasons to celebrate and be grateful.
Great. So at this point of time, at least what you have to do is, Giordani, a little bit about yourself, then Baiye will tell us a little bit about herself, and then Mikhail will tell us a little bit about himself, and then we'll move on. So Giordani, I know you told me to speak slowly. I'll speak slowly. Giordani,
yeah, thank you.
please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, may I share my presentation?
If presentation, I just wanted, then maybe Baiye can tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll see the presentation. Baiye, please.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much. I'm Baiye Frida Ebai. I'm from Cameroon. I'm into peace building, mediation, and negotiation, right from the grassroots level before I go to the national level. Because if we don't include everybody, especially women, inclusivity is very important in my work so that we have our end results. So I'm happy to be here. I'm a journalist and communication by profession, and I got into peace building and mediation when the ongoing armed conflict started in my country. And I asked myself, what can I do to prevent this war from affecting women and children? What is my contribution in the negotiation process? So I started reading, then I started attending programs, then I started trying to be part of the mediation team. So that is where I am now. So I'm happy to be here, and I hope it's going to be a great session.
But how are you feeling, Baiye? Are you feeling all right?
I feel much better.
Okay, good.
Just seeing your face, I'm okay.
Thank you very much. Mikhail, a little quick introduction. You want to?
Hi, hello, my name is Mikhail Sam. I'm an engineer by training, and I work in the renewable arena where I try to help mitigate conflict and mediate. And very pleased to be able to participate here. Thank you, Vikram, and nice meeting you, Baiye and Giordani.
Thank you for joining us. And of course, Brenda, you want to quick one?
Hi, my name is Brenda Batistiana. I'm a member of the Mediators Network for Sustainable Peace. I'm a community psychologist by academic training. I have a PhD in social and organizational psychology. Okay. But by experience, I was a community mediator and a community organizer. Thank you.
And of course, Brenda was part of the last session. There is, of course, Alex is there, but she doesn't want to show us her face. So Giordani, your presentation, please. If you unmute yourself, it'll be easier. Then you don't. Otherwise, you can speak any language. We're okay with it.
Okay. I will share my presentation, and you say please if it's okay.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah. If you want to do the slideshow, then it would be easy, better, I think.
Yeah. Let me open here.
Yeah, perfect.
So the topic I suggested and Vikram accepted is Mediation for Sustainable Development Goal, SDG16 of the United Nations. And I will introduce myself. I'm Giordani Flenik, Damiano and Laurici daughter, Victor and Giovanna's mother, Eduardo and Gabriel's mother-in-law, and William's grandmother. He was born 3 days ago.
Wow.
And I dedicate this speech for him.
Congratulations, grandmother.
Thank you.
Giordani.
I'm so happy. I'm a lawyer. I'm a businesswoman. I work as an extra and judicial mediator, arbiter. I'm a teacher. I'm a student, author of books. And I'm in love with people. It's the reason why I'm here. I do love people. And this is my second family, my friends and partners at Conversátil, Arbitragem e Mediação. We are in Joinville City, state of Santa Catarina in Brazil. And we say that our goal is to change the world. We want to change the world, working with mediation and arbitration.
We don't like that, Giordani. We don't like the arbitration word at all.
Oh, no, really? But they are so close.
Not even allowed to mention it. Not even allowed to mention it in my shows.
Oh,
I call it the A word. I call it the A word.
Okay. But now I will speak in Portuguese, okay? Even though we have some students here in Brazil that are watching or will watch this presentation, and they ask me to speak in Portuguese too.
What about us? We also want to hear you. What about us? What is going to happen for us?
Ok. Então, quando o Vikram me propôs que eu falasse nessa conferência, eu confesso que eu senti uma grande responsabilidade. E fiquei pensando o que mais eu poderia acrescentar depois de tantas palestras e depois de tantos nomes brilhantes ao longo dessa conferência. Acredito que eu tenho muito mais a aprender com a mediação do que ensinar. Então, a ideia aqui é trazer uma reflexão, é trazer um pensamento para o nosso presente e o nosso futuro. E o primeiro assunto que me veio à mente foi justamente os Objetivos de Desenvolvimento Sustentáveis, propostos pela ONU, ali por volta a partir do ano de 2010, e que estamos em andamento, buscando atingir a agenda no ano de 2030. Em Santa Catarina, a Conversátil, ela aderiu a esse movimento dos Objetivos de Desenvolvimento Sustentável, e nós temos participado de diversos eventos e de diversos grupos que vêm estudando e desenvolvendo esses objetivos. E uma situação que sempre nos causa uma inquietação é justamente em relação ao Objetivo 16. Porque quando nós falamos nesses objetivos propostos pela ONU, que na verdade se torna um grande desafio para toda a humanidade, é que a maioria das ações e dos eventos são focados para o meio ambiente. E não que isso não seja importante, obviamente, que o meio ambiente é a nossa forma de sobrevivência. Então, cuidar da poluição, cuidar do desmatamento, evitar as queimadas das florestas, a poluição da água, enfim, tudo isso são temas muito pertinentes e muito importantes. Mas nós entendemos que o meio ambiente é uma parte dessa vida, dessa nossa sobrevivência. E que não adianta termos um meio ambiente cuidado se o próprio homem, não se cuida. E principalmente se ele não cuida de suas relações, de sua convivência com o outro. Então, é nesse sentido que nós vamos refletir aqui nessa minha breve fala sobre como trabalhar, como sentir esse objetivo 16, que é justamente promover a paz, promover a justiça e termos instituições eficazes. De que forma nós podemos, então, alcançar esse objetivo quando, nesse momento, nós vivemos num mundo tão polarizado? E eu já deixo registrado que eu sou uma pessoa extremamente otimista e acredito muito no planeta e acredito muito no homem. Então, embora estejamos numa fase de guerras, de violência, de tantas exclusões e de tantos conflitos, eu vejo tantas ações do bem sendo desenvolvidas e vejo também uma busca muito forte pela paz, pelo acesso da justiça. E um exemplo é nós estarmos aqui hoje falando justamente sobre mediação, comemorando a vida de Ken, comemorando os grandes feitos que a mediação tem realizado em todo o mundo, e isso nos mostra que estamos no caminho certo. Mas ainda temos muito o que fazer. E em relação a esse objetivo, nós precisamos hoje entender em que momento nós estamos vivendo, em que geração hoje nós estamos nos adaptando e buscando nos atualizarmos em relação às características e à forma de viver dessa geração atual. E para isso, então, nós precisamos fazer algumas considerações sobre a nossa sociedade 5.0, algo que até alguns anos atrás parecia tão distante, mas aí com o aceleramento causado principalmente por essa fase pandêmica, hoje nós já estamos vivendo esta sociedade 5.0. E o que vem a ser essa sociedade? Um modelo de gestão focado nas inovações, baseado no desenvolvimento tecnológico cada vez maior e mais acelerado, mas principalmente voltado para o bem-estar do homem, para a melhoria da sua qualidade de vida e para a sua própria evolução. De onde vem essa sociedade 5.0, que já está tão falada e tão conhecida, mas que é sempre bom relembrar? Ali no ano de 2014, quando o Japão passou pela terrível ocorrência dos terremotos e do tsunami, não sei se tem alguém aqui daquela região, e talvez eu esteja falando até algo que não seja tão próprio, mas é o que nós lemos das matérias, da mídia, né, é que foi proposto pelo primeiro-ministro, então, a uma pesquisadora, a Yuko Harayama, que ela apresentasse alguma ideia para que as cidades e a população ali que foram dizimadas por esse fatídico fenômeno, no sentido de reerguer essas cidades e de alavancar o desenvolvimento e, principalmente, né, de motivar as pessoas a retomarem suas vidas, já que tantas famílias perderam tudo e perderam seus parentes, né, seus afetos. E dentro desse estudo, essa pesquisadora, então, ela entendeu, ela concluiu de que acima das inovações, acima das cidades inteligentes, acima de toda a tecnologia que pudesse vir a ser desenvolvida, necessariamente o olhar teria que se voltar para o próprio ser humano, que naquele momento, né, estava muito fragilizado, estava muito condoído, estava muito sem referência, muito assustado com tudo que aconteceu. Então, que tudo que fosse criado ali em relação a essa nova gestão, que fosse considerado esse o bem-estar dos seres humanos. E essa ideia já era algo que vinha sendo também observado por outros estudiosos e não precisou de muito tempo para que o mundo inteiro adotasse, né, esse pensamento, que vem sendo cada vez mais desenvolvido e destacado. E nós somos provas disso, né, de que hoje, como nós buscamos esse bem-estar, essa qualidade de vida, o prazer, o lazer, a vida saudável, a longevidade. E, claro, isso tudo também tem um esforço, tem um preço de nós conseguirmos. Então, dentro, né, dessa nova, digamos, forma de viver, temos buscado realmente viver bem, primeiro, conosco mesmo, e vivermos com o nosso semelhante, de uma forma que seja agradável a todos. E dentro dessa sociedade 5.0, que geração hoje estamos experimentando, vivenciando? Deixa eu só voltar aqui um pouquinho, para a gente relembrar que quando a gente fala das gerações, nós estamos falando aí também de toda uma trajetória, né? E que, digamos, teve um marco inicial ali pós-guerra com os baby boomers, os chamados os filhos da guerra, que a partir ali de 45, 46, né, tivemos uma explosão demográfica com um monte de crianças nascendo, sem muita identidade às vezes, sem também uma família constituída, já que muitas crianças nem chegaram a conhecer seus pais. E foi ali uma geração muito sacrificada, vindo da guerra, e que experimentou, então, muitas dificuldades, muitos desafios, né, em relação à reconstrução do mundo, em relação à reconstrução dos laços familiares, uma geração que trabalhou duro para sobreviver e para entregar para a próxima geração, que foi a geração X, um mundo um pouquinho mais estruturado, um pouco melhor. Então, a geração X ali, na qual eu me enquadro, né, no final dos anos 60, e não vou contar a minha idade, mas uma geração que já teve alguma facilidade a mais, né, um início de desenvolvimento da tecnologia, como, por exemplo, a televisão, os primeiros computadores ali mais acessíveis, né, à população. Uma geração, então, que já buscava um certo conforto, uma certa tranquilidade que a geração anterior não teve. A partir ali de 80, e essas datas não são muito precisas, porque nós encontramos diversos estudos com períodos diferentes, então isso é apenas uma referência para a gente entender, né, como ao longo do tempo essas gerações vão sendo definidas por determinadas características, e muitas dessas características se manifestam através também do desenvolvimento tecnológico, das relações comerciais, das integrações entre os países e das diferentes culturas. Nós temos, então, após a geração Y, que aí sim começou a ser uma geração mais conectada, uma geração que já buscando coisas diferentes para realizar, uma geração já saindo um pouco da zona de conforto e querendo buscar seu próprio lugar na sociedade, mas uma geração que dali já durou menos, e passamos, então, a partir ali de 95, 2000, para a geração Z, que hoje é a geração que constitui aí 25% da população mundial. E é essa geração, inclusive, né, que está aí entre a faixa de 13 a 30 anos, e que é a geração bem produtiva, e é a geração que vem fazendo aí grandes modificações, geração, inclusive, que ainda vai ter profissões que ainda nem imaginamos, que nem estão definidas no mercado, mas que ainda vão existir, principalmente na área tecnológica. E é uma geração que tem características muito interessantes e que depois, ali na frente, quando nós fizermos considerações sobre a mediação, nós vamos entender o porquê da importância da mediação para esse desenvolvimento sustentável do objetivo número 16. Então, como eu mencionei, essa geração hoje corresponde a 25%, mais ou menos, da população mundial. Então, 1/4 da população, um número muito expressivo. E é uma geração que prima muito pela liberdade, está constantemente conectada com o mundo todo. E por essa facilidade de alcance e de informação, de conhecimento, é uma geração que se considera muito autônoma, muito dona de si, que toma as próprias decisões, não tem muito apego, é muito fácil, né, criar um vínculo e, ao mesmo tempo, se desfazer dele, o que torna, às vezes, essa geração um tanto vulnerável. E, ao mesmo tempo, é uma geração que mostra essa vulnerabilidade, né? Que sabe demonstrar quando está muito triste, está muito feliz, está se sentindo solitária, escreve isso nas redes sociais, faz vídeos sobre isso e não tem vergonha de mostrar sua felicidade ou sua tristeza. Mas é uma geração também que demonstra muito interesse e muita interação com as questões sociais. Uma geração que se preocupa muito, inclusive, com o meio ambiente e observa atentamente como as empresas têm cuidado e têm se posicionado em relação ao meio ambiente. E não aceita o tal do greenwashing, que é aquela questão, né, de falar, de pregar uma ação, mas de não praticar. E aí também um outro gancho, né, que nós podemos fazer em relação à solução de conflitos e à promoção da paz e ao acesso da justiça, que nós vamos mencionar. Por fim, é uma geração que preza muito pela simplicidade, pela objetividade, que não gosta, como aqui no Brasil nós chamamos de muita enrolação, gosta de respostas e soluções rápidas, porque já acostumado com o dinamismo da comunicação, das informações, essa geração ela não tem tempo a perder, ela não quer perder tempo, ela quer sempre alcançar e realizar mais. No Fórum Mundial de 2018, em Davos, foram mapeadas, então, que tipo de habilidades, que tipo de características a atual geração, já partindo aí para a próxima, que será a geração alfa, totalmente 100% tecnológica, que habilidades hoje essa geração com a qual estamos convivendo, e algum de nós faz parte desta geração, que habilidades, então, nós precisamos desenvolver e empregar dentro dessa sociedade 5.0, nos relacionamentos com as pessoas que estão ao nosso redor e fazem parte da nossa comunidade, né? E a primeira delas foi justamente a habilidade para resolver problemas complexos. Bom, Não precisamos, né, mencionar de que problemas, conflitos fazem parte da vida do ser humano. E são justamente esses problemas e esses conflitos que nos fazem evoluir, que nos fazem melhorar, que nos fazem crescer. Também não podemos conceber um mundo em que só exista coisas boas e que não tenhamos conflitos, que não tenhamos dificuldades, que não tenhamos medo. Nesse caso, talvez o nosso mundo seria muito vazio, porque estaria tudo bem e nós não teríamos nenhum propósito de vida que justificasse a nossa permanência aqui. Então, essa habilidade para resolver problemas complexos, hoje, ela fica muito evidente quando nós vemos aí, em pleno século XXI, ainda guerras acontecendo, situações de muita violência, situações de exclusão, situações pandêmicas, onde a especialidade, né, e essa habilidade para lidar com essas situações são fundamentais. E uma segunda necessidade detectada nesse fórum foi justamente a arte de negociar, algo que dentro da mediação nós sabemos que é tão importante, e no nosso dia a dia, na nossa vida comum, nós fazemos isso a todo momento e não observamos. Mas aqui, quando nós falamos, né, em negociação, é a negociação com técnica, com conhecimento, né? Outra habilidade, e não vou dizer habilidade, mas essa é uma característica, né? A empatia, uma palavra também tão usada nos últimos tempos, né? Como sendo, às vezes, uma qualidade, uma característica, uma habilidade, mas o fato é que hoje a humanidade clama por empatia, por entender o outro, por aceitar o outro, por escutar o outro, e muitas vezes, né, se colocar naquela posição do outro. Também a criatividade, a inteligência emocional, algo que nós, mediadores, enquanto envolvidos, né, com a intermediação de uma comunicação, precisamos tanto também de exercer e empregar em benefício, né, das partes e da solução dos seus conflitos. O pensamento crítico, a liderança, o trabalho em equipe, o serviço à comunidade e a outra palavra também muito em voga agora, a resiliência, a capacidade de nos adaptarmos a situações diferentes, com pessoas diferentes. Se nós observarmos, então, né, essas habilidades requeridas nessa sociedade 5.0, por essa geração que se considera tão autônoma, tão independente, mas ao mesmo tempo tão vulnerável e tão voltada para as questões coletivas, para as questões sociais, aí então vem a nossa grande reflexão, né? O que a mediação tem a ver com isso? Será que a mediação realmente pode ser um fator de sustentabilidade para não só se atingir, mas também para se manter e aperfeiçoar cada vez mais a pacificação social, o acesso à justiça e a estruturação das instituições eficazes? E mais ainda, outra reflexão que eu trago: qual a nossa responsabilidade enquanto promotores, disseminadores e no exercício da mediação? Qual a contribuição que cada um de nós pode deixar para essa Agenda 2030, que está aí agora há menos de 7 anos de ser alcançada? E eu digo que a minha conclusão, a nossa conclusão aqui na Conversatio, é que esse é o caminho. A mediação, como uma forma extrajudicial, como uma forma adequada de solução de conflitos, ela se mostra totalmente cabível, adequada nessa busca pela paz, pelo acesso à justiça. acredito que não seja só no Brasil, mas acredito que de uma forma global, quando nós falamos em acesso à justiça, nós pensamos muito na justiça oferecida pelo próprio Estado, o Poder Judiciário. E uma justiça que muitas vezes nós clamamos de ser lenta, de não ser tão efetiva, muitas vezes de ser cara, de ser desgastante, mas uma justiça necessária. O Poder Judiciário, ele é uma via de acesso indispensável para toda a sociedade. Mas o que precisamos entender é que não é só esta via que pode conduzir à pacificação e pode ser o caminho para se obter a justiça. Quando nós falamos em mediação, nós estamos falando, sim, na autonomia, na decisão das pessoas de quererem resolver seus conflitos de uma outra forma. Nós estamos falando em respeito ao outro, porque através da mediação nós promovemos a escuta, nós desenvolvemos a nossa empatia. A mediação, ela pressupõe boa-fé, porque para participar de uma mediação, para tratar de um conflito através da mediação, somente com boa-fé das partes envolvidas. E também é na mediação que nós desenvolvemos, né, um senso muito grande de cooperação, porque não podemos pensar em mediação se não tivermos a devida cooperação. E é na mediação que nós reestabelecemos a comunicação, que nós desenvolvemos a comunicação, nós aprendemos a nos comunicar e estabelecemos um diálogo produtivo, um diálogo civilizado, um diálogo amoroso, um diálogo compassivo. Através desse diálogo, nós criamos, então, a confiança, nós fazemos com que as partes, mesmo estando ali naquele momento, né, mobilizadas por um conflito, elas confiem uma na outra para expor os seus sentimentos e para ouvir os sentimentos dos outros. E com tudo isso, nós criamos também a nossa autorresponsabilidade, porque quando estamos numa mediação e quando conseguimos ali realizar um acordo, quando conseguimos resolver uma situação, nós nos comprometemos com essa decisão, nós comprometemos com esse acordo e nós nos tornamos responsáveis por tudo aquilo que nós decidimos ou aquilo que nós aceitamos do outro. Penso eu, então, que o caminho não é outro. A mediação vai salvar o mundo? Eu digo que sim, eu ouso dizer que sim. Talvez não salve o mundo inteiro, mas se salvar esse meu mundo aqui entre os meus sócios, os meus amigos, entre os meus vizinhos, se salvar a minha cidade, se salvar o meu bairro, já será um grande feito. Mas se cada um de nós, e aqui eu vejo pessoas de vários países, ao longo, né, desses quase 2 meses de conferência, vi pessoas, né, de todos os lugares do mundo. Se cada um de nós levar essa mensagem, se cada um de nós continuar disseminando, defendendo a mediação, ensinando e principalmente praticando a mediação, com certeza nós estaremos colaborando fortemente para alcançar esse objetivo de desenvolvimento sustentável. Sim, estaremos proporcionando a pacificação dos conflitos e estaremos, sim, garantindo o acesso à justiça. Aquela justiça que é de dentro do nosso coração, do nosso sentimento.
Giordani,
A justiça
Giordani.
de...
Sorry.
Oi?
Well, we might have to get Baiye inside because she has to log out. So we'll just get her in to the discussion. She wants to say something because she has to log out.
Sure. Okay.
Because, yeah. Yes, Baiye.
Hello, greetings, everyone. I have 2 gentlemen here with me that they have very tight schedule, and I promise them that will not take long here.
Yeah.
So with me, we have Mr. Achaleke Christian and
Where are
Mr.
they? We can't see
Bochum
them.
Samuel.
We can't see them.
Yes. So if they could briefly introduce themselves, please.
Yes, Bokum. You want to?
Mr. Achaleke. Mr.
Bokum.
Achaleke.
Bokum, you want to say? Bokum was already there. He was saying something.
Yeah, can you kindly introduce yourself?
Bokum, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so I just want to start by appreciating Madam Frida for this distinguished honor to invite me here. And I'm called Bochum Samuel Bache, and I'm a young Cameroonian youth leader who is interested in peace building for a small number of years now, 7 years into peace as a young practitioner. And so when she got to me, I was excited to have such an opportunity to continue building and learning from seniors and experts so that it will help me to also become a better leader in future. So I'm very grateful. And I'm from the organization Youth Advocates for Peace and Community Empowerment in Cameroon, YAPSEC, which is 7 years now. And we work with youth and we support them on peace advocacy, peace building, and different aspects within peace and leadership. So I also run a peace academy where we also train people far and near virtually. They can take the courses and also become certified advocates and ambassadors of peace. So that's some of the things I have been doing over the years. So I'm very grateful for the honor of Madam Frida and to the entire team. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Achaleke is not there. He's not joining us. So, Baiye, can we let Giordani finish her presentation? You want to say something? Yeah, Baiye? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Baiye, you have to unmute yourself. Yes.
Achaleke is not on. I see him online.
Yeah, but he's not unmuting himself. He's not.
Okay. Okay, please. Sorry, just continue.
Yeah. If there's any comment you want to make right now, or you want to make it after the presentation, your wish.
No, after her presentation.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Giordani, please.
No, I've just finished. As the end of my presentation.
You had some nice slide at the end also. We have to see that slide also.
Thank you. I just want to say this. A phrase from Deepak Chopra, when he say, the moment you think outside the box, throughout the box. I like very much him, and I think we have to do just like this, throughout the box. And don't be afraid to make different things. And mediation is the way to peace, the way to justice. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely. We'll get you in, but Baiye wants to, of course, come in. Baiye, about the topic.
Yes,
Mediation.
about the topic mediation and the Sustainable Development Goal 16. It is very important for us to draw our attention to the fact that if we counter violent extremism, then we'll be reducing the rate of violence in our communities. If we master the mediation, the act of mediation, then we'll be reducing violence and terrorism in our communities. Because if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals closely, these are goals that has everything to do with our existence, our lives, our activities, and our growth. It promotes growth. And when we talk of mediation, we talk of social cohesion. We talk of countering violent extremism. We talk of producing people, a group of persons who have been marginalized. We bring them up to people who have self-esteem that they can look into the future and make our communities better. Throughout the world, advances in ending violence are mostly done in European countries, different from sub-Saharan Africa, for example. In Europe, we have more child protection activities. If you look at the 12 tenets of the Sustainable Development Goals, you have an end to violence, you have reduced violence, you have protection of children, you end trafficking, equal rights for development, promoting strong justice institutions, peace, and ensuring that the public has equal access to information. So these are the goals that actually structure our communities. If we don't adhere to these goals, then each country, that particular country, will face a high rate of violence. When people are hungry, they become violent because they want to look for means to get food. So it is important for us to have strong institutions that promote equal access to opportunities. It is important for us to have institutions that promote access to information. If people don't have information, then it will be very difficult for them to have growth. If you look at population density, if you look at economic growth in each country, if we don't have strong institutions that prevent corruption and promote social cohesion, then you will see that that country will not achieve the desired growth. That is why the Sustainable Development Goals are good as mediation process, because it is through this mediation process that we come to realize strong institutions, a group of people who decide that they are going to make their country strong, they are going to make that economy strong, they are going to make growth, economic growth and social cohesion, they are going to make their children feel protected, they are going to make sure that children have legal identity. Children are born and given their birth certificates. But when there's war, when there's chaos, you will see that children will be born and they will not be issued birth certificate because there's no access to birth certificate centers. So if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, it is equally very important if a country wants to attain economic and social growth. Looking at violence against children, which is part of this Sustainable Development Goal 16, you will see that if you protect children and reduce the rate of psychological and physical abuse, you see that these children will grow to be upright citizens and they'll participate fully in the growth of their country, in the growth of their continent. So it is very important for us to protect children. You look at trafficking in persons, which is part of that Sustainable Development Goal 16. We are working tirelessly to prevent trafficking of children, of young girls, of women, especially who are being exploited sexually and taken into other countries. So when we look at these goals, we take into cognizance the fact that if we reduce trafficking, for example, more people will feel safe. Europe and America is different because they have a high rate of security compared to sub-Saharan Africa, where I'm coming from. So looking at these goals and looking at the work I do on the ground, you see that we are trying our best to create awareness against human trafficking, sexual exploitation, child abuse. I will let Mr. Chaleke, if he's still on, because he has done a lot of work on human trafficking. There were a group of persons that came back from Kuwait and other Arab countries who were trafficked, and his organization, Local Youth Corner, did a lot So if Mr. Achaleke can come in for 2 minutes and give us few experience on human trafficking that relates to mediation and this Sustainable Development Goal 16, then I'll really be grateful. Mr. Achaleke, please come on.
Mr. Achaleke is busy, it seems. Yes, come. Yes.
Just give me 1 second. Okay, while I'm waiting for Mr. Achaleke, let me continue. So we have inside this goal, we also have the detention of prisoners or prisoners held in detention. You see that if a country has chaos, if there's an ongoing armed conflict, that is why you see mediation is very important. If there's a conflict and the warring party sits on the dialogue table and mediate, we will not have cases of people being in detention. We will not have cases of mass human trafficking. We will not have cases of children being stolen from communities that are highly affected because of that conflict. And they sell them into modern slavery or organ trafficking. So you see, it is very important for us to do mediation and end a crisis rather than allowing it go into such a state that most of the population, especially the marginalized groups, which are women and children, will suffer. So the goals shape the country's social and economic growth. That is why mediation can go hand in hand with the Sustainable Development Goals.
What we'll do is let's get oh, should we get Mikhail in? Mikhail also wanted to say something. Should we get him in?
Yes.
Okay, Mikhail,
yes.
Please, you wanted to make a comment?
No, I was very interested listening to Baiye's comments. I don't think I have anything so interesting to add to this. I'm more wanting to hear because I think Baiye was just getting to the thesis of how mediation can actually be a tool for this all of these goals that you've been describing under the banner of goal number 16. So how do you see mediation empowering these goals?
Yes, Baiye, she's trying to fix up with Achaleke. Up to then, let me just put up Giordani. You had a lot of comments on from your friends in Brazil. So you want to have a look at that? Giordani, are you having a look at this? Comments?
Oh, I can't read here.
You can't?
No, I can't.
Okay. Basically, there is.
It's not clear for me here. The words are not clear.
Okay, there's Luciani.
Let me see if I see my.
Yeah, just have a look at that. What I liked was Katia had made a very nice comment. She says, of course, in Portuguese, she's saying that mediation is not therapy, but it is very therapeutic. But of course, she said it in Portuguese, so I won't try and pronounce it. Bye. Mikhail wants to know from you about how mediation can actually work. Baiye is already.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we spend more time eradicating conflict and mediating, then we'll have more time for economic and social growth.
I think Mikhail is looking at more specific, I think, kind of situations that actually where mediation has actually worked and how. I think that's what Mikhail, are you looking at more specific examples?
Yes, I mean, it's just very interesting because what Baiye was describing, it aligns with many of the sub-tenets of the banner number 16. I had mostly been reading into 16.3.3, the one about the experience in a dispute and who has access to formal and informal dispute resolution. And that's how the angle that I had been looking at it, because mediation can be more accessible and for me can be cheaper, and it can also probably then hopefully the bridge I was hoping to see is about the reduction in corruption, etc. But you've touched in many others where you have basically lifted mediation into being able to help on all the elements of number 16. So is it because you think mediation is more accessible, or how do you see mediation can be more helpful than other resolution methods?
You'll have to unmute yourself, Baiye. You'll have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Baiye, unmuting. We can't hear you.
Okay.
I think she's quite trying to coordinate with Mr. Achaleki.
I'm going to write her on WhatsApp so that she can unmute herself.
Yeah. Vikram, you want to come in? You want to answer what Mikhail said?
Yeah, I was just saying I'm going to write her on WhatsApp so that she's going to unmute herself.
So I think she knows she's trying to coordinate with Mr. Achaleki, it seems. Baiye, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi.
Yes.
Did you?
Hi. Yep.
Did you ask for me?
Yes, we asked for you. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then, of course, about SDG16?
Okay, thank you. My name is Christian Achaleke, and I'm from Cameroon. I work as the executive director of the local Youth Corner Cameroon, which is a youth-led organization, and we have offices in the different conflict hotspots in the country, and we are a youth-led organization. So our approach in peace building space, it's youth-led, and we work around peace building, preventing violent extremism, and the peace process. And I also hold a role with the African Union. I was recently appointed by the heads of states to serve as the African Union's Youth Ambassador for Peace, representing the Central Africa region. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we want to see you also, Achaleke. Christian, we want to see you also.
Okay, the thing is my connectivity might not be, the internet might not be there. Can you see me?
Yes, now we can see you. Otherwise, we shut your video off. If you can't hear you properly, we'll shut your video. But it's nice to see you.
Yeah, and yeah, so thank you very much. And in terms of my background, I've been working in the space around peace building and preventing violent extremism. This is the 15th year, and I've worked across different contexts, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and also around ISIS-related work. And I work as a practitioner, as a researcher, as well as an academia. So I teach and I do research with a couple of publications on this conversation. And also in terms of policy, I was among those who worked on the 3 different UN Security Council resolutions on youth, peace, and security. So the resolution 2250 and the one on youth and peace processes and the following ones. So I had the pleasure to interact at UN Security Council level and as well at the AU Peace and Security Council level. So in terms of mediation in practice, I have a couple of experience in terms of working on the ground on mediation. I worked on several cases, Boko Haram and others, in terms of mediation in DDR, in terms of creating spaces for dialogue and negotiating for third parties, and a couple of others, and in terms of my work. I also, in terms of background, I spent some time with Mediators Beyond Border. I was one of the keynote speakers for the last 2 summits or so. And so, I mean, that has been my background in terms of work, and it's a pleasure to hear about mediation. And for me as a practitioner and a researcher in this space, my perspective, it's a cross line between both, especially living in a conflict country and having worked in other hotspots. And in terms of SDG16, I was fortunate to also be among young people who champion this goal globally. And so the UN Youth Strategy on Peace and Security, I was the voice. for it during the launch in New York. And of course, with the AU now, especially around peace. So that is me, and that's my background, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I thank Frida for bringing me. It's a sister. We've been working on several good things back home. Thank you so much. I hope you could hear me.
Yeah, I heard you perfectly. And great work you're doing. Thank you very much. We'll just say hi to Dennis. Just say hi to Dennis. Only hi. Okay, if we have to get back.
Hi, Dennis.
We didn't hear you. Only we saw you because you didn't unmute yourself.
Okay, I do it again.
Yes.
From Istanbul, okay?
We'll get you in. We are just okay. So Achaleke is also from Cameroon. He's saying hi to you from Cameroon.
Okay.
But Kristen, are you want to tell us a little bit about your actual experience with mediation? Anything that you want to?
You are asking to me.
No, you come in later. You come in a little later.
Okay.
Kristen, we're asking Kristen.
Okay.
He has a very good experience. I'm actually trying to bring in actual mediation or anything there.
Okay.
Kristen is a little busy, it seems. He can't hear us. Okay. So
I can hear you actually. I can hear you.
So anyway, something we need some more. Exact. Miguel wants to leave. You want to leave, Miguel?
Thank you so much. I need to run for a meeting, but this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
So, Kristen, we basically wanted to look. I mean, from your all this experience that you have, where do you see mediation working? Where do you see it not working? What has been the experience with mediation in general? Who were the mediators were they from the communities? Did you get people? All those questions.
Yeah, I think where I see mediation, and I was sharing this during the last Oslo forum in a paper I did. The mediation has really evolved, especially with the coming of the internet. It's a time where we don't necessarily need to go again on the field to talk to people through the internet, social media. It starts the process of mediation. I think virtually you can mediate processes now. I think that's the advantage we have in the 21st century, the advent of the internet and social media and different platforms of communication. It's also good because these platforms have been able to bring information closer to us. Because before, people used to feel mediation is rocket science. People used to hear, oh, Kofi Annan has gone for a mediation process in this country. But the truth, you bear with me, is that so many times the senior mediators that you see do not go on the hotspots. They come to the capital city and they stay there and get the information and do good reports. It's a fact. And I'm speaking because I live in a country and I know the impact of conflict. I've lost close, friend, and I know the brunt of conflict. So my perspective in terms of mediation is a bit different. It's in terms of community-centered oriented and building on local heroes and especially young people. Traditionally, young people are seen as troublemakers. Go to the internet and check. You're going to see young people are only associated with conflict as troublemakers or as victims. Very few are talking about young people who could be able to mediate, and mediation is not black magic. It's as easy as being there to speak, to look at both sides, not to take sides. All of those core values, people practice it every day. Yep. And in my work, when I go to communities, I speak to young people and leaders, and they didn't even know that they were actually doing mediation. Yep. Because it has been branded as a very nice product which is sold. I think that violent offenders, recruiters, terrorists do not have time, to keep all of those bureaucracies. They go straight to the point. They recruit people, they give you an arm, you kill, and that's it. They wear suicide vests, and that's it. So I think that the future of this is for us to break those ceilings. We have to make the reflection and the core values of mediation be accessible as much as possible. We need to build on existing things which young people are doing. I was very fascinated when I met a young man who does mediation in DDR. It's one of the most complex mediations you can think of, to take a fighter who's carrying an arm from point A to point B to letting go and going into DDR programs. We see that every day, but I think that we are sometimes still sticking to the traditional perspective of having someone sent from New York, from addies to come and talk. That is high-level mediation. It's very important. We need to also invest in the community, in the local. We have traditional rulers who, by virtue of their leadership, their staff of office, they are able to speak to issues impartially with all the core values we are talking about. I think this has been my experience, seeing this and valorizing it and saying it is important that young men and women should be valorized, given the opportunity to showcase these things they are doing every day. You know, I used to tell people that my mom has been an amazing mediator. Yep. Because at home, I was not very smart at passing exams. And when my dad was bashing at me and everything, my mom could be able to find, a way to work out of this. And this is how basic we should be able to look at this. Then we focus on capacity building. I would tell you, there are a lot of people who want to do this job, but they lack the capacity. It's very important we invest in building capacity of persons, to take them from the perspective they have, to edify them and share with them best practices, where it has worked, where it hasn't worked, and all of that. These are the opportunities that we have.
So look, I tell you, Christian, the whole idea of what I do is only this. But I keep saying that we have those people who have the mindset. We have to identify them. Beyond that, whatever skill development is required, I'm putting out, obviously, there are already more than 600 videos here. Plus, I'm creating a skill development project so that everyone gets access to the best in the world. So all that is happening. Main thing is to be able to identify those people who have the mindset and take them forward, not to say that we'll make someone a mediator. So that's the important part. So I think what we'll have to do is, Giordani, any last words? You want to conclude the session, because Denise her session is going to be very interesting. We're waiting for that, but you want to conclude the session in some way?
Yeah, again, to congratulate your work. I see how present you are in Face, LinkedIn, and it's very important to communicate this work for all the world. Thank you one more time, and very grateful to be here with you.
Oh, thank you very much. It was really nice to have you. I should have actually mentioned that your session is in Portuguese, and I thought you were going to give it in English. So I called Baiye into the session. So Baiye, any concluding remarks? Because I'll tell you one thing before you finish. What Christian is doing is actually really important work, and what we discussed, I think we need to have more conversations between us.
Yes, you have to create a session alone for Christian.
Yeah,
you have to create another session alone for Buchum Samuel. I brought the two of them on board because I cannot do it alone from Cameroon.
It was good introduction, and we'll have that thing, and then let's take it forward. Any concluding remarks? Yes. Anything, Baiye?
It is important for us to draw countries' attention to the fact that if we spend more time to eradicate a conflict rather than letting it into a full-blown war, the sustainable development goals are going to suffer. More children will be kidnapped and trafficked, more people will be detained, and the economic and social growth of that country will be drastically will be reduced drastically. So mediation is important. If there's a conflict, there's a crisis, let's engage into mediation and solve it amicably than letting it go into a full-blown war. Absolutely. Because more people are going to suffer.
And I think there are lots of things happening there. It is that colonial mindset also where mediation has not been looked at. It's kind of discouraged. So that has to be looked at. Capacity building that Christian was talking about. So lots of work to happen. So thank you very much, Giordani, Baiye, for being part of the session. And Christian is not here. Bokam was here. So Bokam, thank you very much.
Someone will follow us into the next session.
Yeah, you are here only. Okay, Bokam, thank you very much. Everyone can stay. Everyone is welcome. Giordani, you can also stay. Denise is going to take us through some interesting aspects of interculture.
I'm going to listen to her.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Let me just